The Nigerian Defense Headquarters has issued a cautionary message to Nigerians intending to join the August 1st protest. They are advised to avoid violent demonstrations and individuals seeking to incite violence during the nationwide protest. The warning was delivered by the Nigerian Defense spokesperson, Edward Buba, during a press briefing on Thursday. The armed forces are prepared to address any potential acts of violence during the upcoming protest, as highlighted in the briefing showcasing the forces' notable accomplishments.
I believe that some people out there may fantasize about war or state of anarchy, thinking that it is like what they see in the movies. I assure you that war or a state of anarchy is not what you see in the movies. It involves real people, real situations, and real life. A situation of anarchy or war should not be fantasized. People lose loved ones and everything they toil for or possess in the course of war or anarchy. And I will put it simply by saying that horrible and ugly things happen in such situations. We must never, as a people, bring it upon ourselves. On the whole, it must be said that the timing and the present atmosphere of hardship in the country is different from other times when protests were held in the past in this country. It must also be said that if you ignite the fire, there is no telling how far that fire will burn. We must allow cool heads to reign.
Buba added that the armed forces have changed their strategy and have been dominating terrorists on the battlefield, taking out their commanders, collaborators and foot soldiers, as well as restoring peace and stability across various regions in Nigeria.
Troops are fighting in multi-front operations going on across the country. And we are going after the center of gravity of the terrorists. Indeed, we are finding them, flushing them out, and dismantling their military capabilities, their administrative capabilities, and their logistics capabilities. Our operations are going in an upward trajectory, and we have prioritized targeting the terrorist leaders, their commanders, their foot soldiers, as well as their collaborators, many of which have been eliminated from the battlefield in the course of our operations. Troops are not resting on their oars, but continue to exert significant military pressure to defeat the terrorists and their cohorts in the northeast, in the northwest, and in north-central zones. In the southeast zone, we have sustained the momentum against the indigenous people of Biafra and their armed Eastern Security Network cohorts. While in the South-South zone, we have continued to battle the perpetrators of crude oil theft.
The defense spokesperson said armed forces are following the mandate given by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to maintain upward output. Buba vowed that the armed forces will secure strategic oil pipeline facilities across the nation through both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave a mandate to the Chief of Defense Staff to ensure that the oil output for our nation is increased to optimal. Accordingly, the military has taken various steps in compliance with that mandate. And some of the steps include a unified command structure where all the security agencies will function under. That structure is commanded by the military. Additional lines of actions that have been taken include ensuring the transparency of the international oil companies operating in the region, ensuring credible metering of the crude oil that passes through the pipes, as well as reinforcing surveillance of the oil infrastructures deployed across the Niger Delta region, particularly looking at jackets are those structures that house the wellheads, looking at the loading terminals, and also vessels. Other areas being examined and reinforced at the point of loading and the point of destination of the vessels, and very importantly is to galvanize the support of the local community as well as stakeholders in the oil sector. And I will add, very, very importantly, is to ensure that culprits that have been arrested are prosecuted. These are all the actions that we are taking since receipt of that directive from the President.